All right. Hello and good morning. It's a couple of minutes early, so we'll wait a couple of minutes to give more people time to arrive. But good morning, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to our Tuesday morning Wuxing Long Pai Taijiquan class. My name is Jeff Cote, and I am the Occidental Taoist. I hope everyone has had a great weekend. And we had that got cold up here, a little rainy, some freezing rain and hail, but it's warming up again now. This morning I woke up, there was sun shining. That was kind of nice. Of course, it's already overcast, but that's the way it is. That's New England. Wait 5 minutes, the weather will change. I've got, looks like just a couple more minutes still, so I'm going to give people a little bit of time to arrive, and then we'll get started. Let me shift this just a little so I've got a little more room to one side where I can move around a little bit. There we go. All righty. I'm going to tilt that down a little bit just so you can see feet when I start making shifts and changes. Some of it you can't because of the table it's on. Okay, well, we'll have to elevate that a little bit to bring it forward. All right, next time I set it. You can start off with just some just general loosening while we wait. I don't mind doing a few extra bouncing expansions. So, I like to get a good basic stance. Drop down into the legs. Get the center line aligned. Tongue lightly touches the roof of the mouth. Breath's going to move in and out through the dantian, from and to the dantian. Stand a couple of minutes just getting a posture and dropping all obvious tensions before we even start. At this time, usually when I start on my own, when I'm practicing on my own, I'll, as I'm standing, I'll really pay attention to these right and left channels and just feel around them on each side, that column, and just start draining. And just work with that downward draining. And then usually, as it starts to drain downward, I can actually feel any held tension that connects the right-left channels through the shoulders, particularly the trapezius, but also the whole shoulder complex through the chest and upper back and into the arm. I can feel that starting to let go of any held tension. And I work on Zhongding while I'm waiting too. Well, if I have a couple of minutes while I'm starting, Zhongding is that sense of extending up and down. The tailbone extends down, the spine extends up, opening up the back of the neck, the chin ever so slightly tucks, and that central channel just opens up as I elongate. And really get that strong up and down feeling simultaneously. So it feels like my whole body is just being stretched and elongated. But I'm not using a lot of force. It's more just a gentle intention that I release into more and more moment by moment. All right, we'll get started. We'll go ahead and start right away. Bring the hands down in front of the dantian, and we'll do a nice slow expansion first. Working with inhaling and exhaling from the center. Sometimes I'll focus on the back. So I'll have my hands go back a little bit to help me focus there. Sometimes I'll focus more on the expansion to the sides. Eventually, I'm just trying to make sure it's all even. Sometimes to the front. Because this is about the sphere of the center, a spherical expansion. while maintaining that zhongding and the alignments, especially those right and left channel openings. And bounce. Now here, as I'm bouncing and my hands are coming down, I'm trying to let my awareness and my intention move with my hands as though I'm sinking the chi down through. And then the same thing here, as I'm coming up, I'm bringing it back up. So I'm constantly flowing the chi up and down through the body while I'm doing this. What does that mean? How do you do that? Well, what would it feel like if when you went like this, something was flowing through you? Imagine that. Try to create it. Use your mind intent and your surrender into action. Your ability to create an activity with your imagination, because that is used. That's how we learn to move. And then surrender into it. Let it take on a deeper reality for you. And counter swing. Now here we're doing the same thing. We still have that up and down flow as we're lifting and dropping, but we're also twisting. So there should be a feeling of the twist, both of the right and left channels, but also of the core. And if you have a really good awareness and sense of these right and left channels and your center line as you're doing this, you can feel them moving back and forth and twisting and rotating around as you move while you're generating this up and down flow. And it starts to create more and more of that spiral feeling flowing up and down. These practices are central to the Wuxing Long Pai system. These are very important because they teach the internal feeling for all the movements from which Tai Chi is generated in our system. And column swing. Same thing here. We're doing the same thing. We've got those rotations. And the more you work with this sense of this internal feeling of that up and down and the spiraling as you work, the more you start to understand how to use yi, or intention, to create changes in the chi and in the feeling state of the body. You begin to get to more of the internal elements of Tai Chi. One of the things that's an important part of this as you do these is to connect from mind all the way through body. You have to actualize into actual physical action and physical power. And then you can throttle back once you get that feeling that your intention is actually driving real physical energy and power, has its own strength. Then you can start to reduce the muscle engagement and really begin to work more and more with the intent and the chi. And then a counter column swing. One of the things I like about this practice, particularly, is it begins to reveal to you where you're not feeling the flow. Because you'll feel, like as you start to develop the internal sense, you'll feel it through areas, and then there'll be blank spots. That's where you learn to extend your intention more and give your attention to. You got to always feel the whole, but you can, like for me, the left side is always a little less, even after all these years, even after working with it. It's never quite as robust as this right side. So I give a little extra attention and intention there until it starts to, at least when I first start, eventually it comes into line. But I started off this entire process very right side dominant, to the point where, my left hand was always confused. Focus on more of the around, more lift or swing, alternating between palm up and palm out. And loose. Just letting them be loose. And relax. We're going to go right into the 7 posture standing Qigong. Gathering the Qi. Palms down, fingers towards each other, and then out. Pillar of the sky posture. Shoulders, remember, your hands go up, your shoulders go down. Open up. Create a nice column of alignment and energy. and slowly out and down. Tianmo, which is the mid-eyebrow point, also called yin tong. From here, turn the palms so the fingers make that triangle without touching. Press out and up with the mid-eyebrows. And let the elbows pull the hands out and down to shoulder width, and then drop down. Gather the chi Tianmo again. And then as though we're moving into Wu Ji, gathering the chi to the chest. Bend the elbows, palms down, fingers towards each other around the level of the base of the throat. Remember, the elbows and energy from the here extends out that way and out that way. So it feels like the shoulder blades and everything just get pulled out and down, while your intention is to drain through the right and left channels. So your palm energy, the Lao Gong energy, is extending downward, while your Dongding or central equilibrium is elongating up and down. Press down those right and left channels. Gather the chi. Wuji. Here we just square up the four limbs, open and relax, empty the self. Become like a hollow bone, a hollow column. Gathering the chi to the chest. Condense and sink. Gathering the chi. Just as though we're going to do Tai Chi beginning. Inhale up. Roll the hands back and press down. Here we got this sense of everything presses down. Hands are about level with the solar plexus, parallel to the ground from elbow to palm. As always, I've got that subtle dragon palm. For those of you just tuning in, if you don't know what the dragon palm is, that's middle finger and ring finger and thumb work together. Index finger and pinky work together. They extend out. There's an ever so slight curl inward and grasp. And then reduce intensity so that it's almost hidden, hard to notice. And equalize. Press down. Gathering the chi to the lower dantian. Gathering the chi in. And down. Palms down. Right, left channels extend and press down. Central channel elongates the zhongding along with the spine. And close. A moment to shake it out. And hands, wrists, and fingers. The other way. Elbows. Other way. Shoulders. reverse. Palms out. Alternating between fingers together and palms out. Opening and closing the chest. Trunk twists from the center. We're going to get some weight shift and waist turn here, starting with patting the waist. And the daimai. And letting the hands move upward as you're patting. Just under the collarbone, stimulating that thymus and thyroid. Down the center line, solar plexus. Down to the lower dantian and men in the back. And patting the daimai and the hips. Waist rotations. Remember that the bowl shape of the pelvis wants to stay parallel to the ground as we move it horizontally while we keep this middle dantian essentially in place. Now I'm trying not to kick my hip up. I'm trying to keep that down and parallel. And the other way. And let our awareness go from the waist down to the hips, widen the feet. We're going to open the ball and socket joints, just kind of pulling them open and through. Pulling it open and through the other way. And the other way. And then turning in and shifting, turn in and shift. Turn in and shift and feel what happens into the ball and socket joints here. Notice my knees stay open. There we go the other way, moving back, turn out and shift. And relax. Shake out your legs. Out of your legs. And friction rubbing your knees. Small circles, feet stay firmly on the ground. The other way. Deep bends, heels stay down. And shake out your legs. Sink into your stance. Shift into one leg. Ball the foot on the ground. No weight on that leg. Ankle and hip rotation. The other way. Foot and ankle rotation. Other way. Brushing the grass. Other way. Notice I'm not in a rush. Behind, keeping that heel down. The other way. Go back up. Foot out. Out to the side. And back. Cross behind. Sit down into the lady horse stance. Turn the spine. Come back up. Knee to the chest. Knee down, heel back. Now here, I'm going to turn so you can see. When I bring my knee back, I push my hip forward. All right, so I'm here. I don't want to just pull the knee back and let the hip curl back like this because I don't want to lean. I want to extend this forward to maximize the stretch this iliopsoas. Go back out and around. And from here, I'm just dropping the leg out. Now, if you have trouble with that, for balance purposes, whatever, we're really trying to work with the hip. You can put it on a table or a chair and just drop it out. Then you're going to use all the muscles through here in your glutes and your hip to extend the knee out. Pushing the knee out and letting it roll open. Just extending and rotating open. Okay. Eventually, as you do it, you can really open this up And shake it down. Now, during that process, if you start to feel it out here, you're pulling with your arm too hard, or you're trying to force your rotation and you're holding your leg, too much tension, trying to push it down. Don't push it out and just let it fall open. If you do that, the hip rolls open on its own. You don't feel it here in the knee. Instead, it's all the muscles here start to open up. We don't want tension on that lateral collateral ligament. Same thing on the other side. Ball the foot on the ground, small circles. Other way. Foot and ankle. Other way. Brushing the grass. Back so you can see it a little bit. The other way. Behind. The other way. Looking forward so I don't hit the screen. Leg out. Out to the side. And back. Cross the leg underneath. Lady horse stance. Rotate the spine. Back up. Knee to the chest. Heel back, knee down. And again, that hip's going to go forward when your knee goes back. Just whatever works for you. However hard your body or force with as much intention and action as your body can do. It's not about getting where I am. It's about improving where you are day by day. Eventually, you'll find yourself where I am. Because I didn't start off this way. Again, don't be afraid to use a chair or coffee table to put your foot on. As long as your wife lets you do that. Or your husband. My wife's not home, so I get away with it. Hopefully she won't watch this stream. Every once in a while, where you're doing this, you'll feel like that gentle rotation and extension pressure. You'll feel a muscle let go. As soon as it does, don't let up right away. Instead, let it create a new normal there. Take it for a little bit. That's why I'm holding this, because I got a nice release right through here, my hip on one muscle that's still holding a little bit tighter than I wanted it to. And then shake it out. Deep breath in, gather the chi. From here, we'll straighten the legs, elongate the spine, lift the sacrum, fold at the waist, and extend down. Keep the spine long. Deep breaths. Every inhale, you'll extend your heels down, lift your sacrum, extend tailbone and head away from each other.
Each exhale, you try to just release and let gravity pull the tension away. You release a little, just softening. Every inhale, you elongate. Every exhale, you release. And it starts to feel like undulating waves of action and release that just elongate the body as you go. Sometimes that sort of open, that ha-like release really helps you let go a little more. Really stimulates that parasympathetic nervous system to induce relaxation. And if you've been practicing with me for a while, you're familiar with these right and left channels, but you're also familiar with the meridian flow. Yin channels of the legs come up into the core, down the insides of the arms. Yang channels envelop all of that. And you can really feel that in this position. You can play around with the feeling of yin and yang and balance them out to help you elongate. All of these things are mental models that we use to understand and experience the flow of qi. They're just a map. The terrain is you. Turn to one side. Then the other side. The two dragons circle the pond. Back to the center. Squat stance. Keeping the heels on the ground. Spine nice and long. And inguinal stretch. Stretch into those. Go rock back and forth, opening up the inguinal muscles if you like. If you feel ambitious, you can do a suspension here. And back. Press up the legs and roll the spine. And dragon spine. This is that serpentine articulation of the spine using the right and left channels. Just it starts with smaller circles of the arms, growing gradually larger. Until palms stay up.
go the other way. Three fudgings. And close. All right. So let's work on the swimming dragon section of the long form again. I guess we'll do this me facing the other way. I got a lot of feedback or some feedback from emails from folks that they like this. If you don't like it, me facing the other way, send me a note. Leave a comment here. Send me an email, which is taoistarts@yahoo.com. That's TAOISTARTS @yahoo.com. All one, no spaces, or just Taoistarts. And if you don't like that, then I will start to go back and forth a little bit more. But so far, the only feedback I've gotten is that people liked when I was facing the other way because it was easier to follow along. Even though some people couldn't see the hands, it seemed to be okay. Now, we don't have a ton of time, so I'll probably only get a chance to do facing it the other way. But if we have a little bit more time, I'll turn around also, so both groups of people, if there are people that like it the other way, they can see it. So we're going to start here, starting from dragon stretches his wings. So palms are up, shoulders down. These are eyebrow level, roughly. Sink into the stance, get your Jianzhuang. That's part of it. Sink, shift to the right, turn left, shift, and look back. Rock back in. The hands come up the center line. All right. I'm sorry, hold on. Get that foot back first and come back in. I was going so slow, I skipped a step. Expand out. Back in. Turn the right foot. Turn the left foot. Turn back to the front. Weights in the front leg. Dragon lashes his tail. That was that one. And Power of the Immortal. Front hand comes to the dantian and down. White ape presents the fruit. Left. And press. Down. And out. Turn the foot. I'm going to move because I'm going to kick a table here. White crane kicks with one leg. Step up, place the foot, and kick. Butterfly touches the water. Sweep across right, over the top, and down. Green dragon stirs the waves. Left hand here, right hand here. Heel down, turn the foot, elbowing left and right. Split, grasp the arm. Turn and look back at the moon. Turn that left foot in. Shift back. Sink. Fair Lady threads the shuttle. Passing clouds. Long uppercut. Hammer fist. Dragon sweeps the sky. Double uppercut. Double elbow. Split right. Grasp the arm. Turn and look back at the moon. Turn that left foot in. Turn the right foot. Sink. Two dragons passing. Turn the left foot back. Turn the right foot around and in. Cross. And open. Over here, we open that left foot. Widening. Now I've got a sphere here. Rotate under and widen. Presents the fruit. White crane kicks with one leg. Cross the hands. Bring the right leg up to the left. Stand up a little. Expand tall. Sink into the right leg. Pick up the left. And kick with the left leg. Butterfly touches the water. Sweep past the left knee. Over the top. And touch. Right hand to the shoulder, left hand to the hip. Green dragon stirs the waves. Heel. Step and bump. Elbow. Press. Elbow. Press and split. Grasp the arm. And press. Turn that right foot in as you press with the right hand outward. Pull by. And turn back and look at the moon. Fair Lady threads the shuttle. Heel down. Right hand under left. Back. Right foot turns. And press. Sweeping clouds. Long uppercut. And hammer fist. Turn the foot. Dragon sweeps the sky. Or the heavens. Double uppercut. Double elbow. Split left. And grasp the arm. Turn and look back at the moon. Two dragons passing as this right foot turns and puts down. This left hand comes under. Right foot turn or left foot turns. Split and open. You end up in this sphere again. And like I'm going to do white egg presents the fruit, but I don't extend. I come to here and draw back and close. All right. So yeah, that was it. That was the whole sequence. And we're a little bit over. We're right about time. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope that was helpful. A good Qigong and Tai Chi workout. That sequence is, it takes time. There's a lot of turning energy, and it's all about spiraling down, spiraling up, being able to set that root and turn and move in a small space. Eventually you learn to do that
while moving around, which is what the stepping practice is. The Wuxing Long Pai is a amalgamation of Tai Chi and Baguazhang. So, most people are more interested in the Tai Chi, so that's what I focus on most. But the Baguazhang has some circle walking practices, which are really good. And I do introduce the walking practices because, as a general health practice, it doesn't get much better than walking. And we can do it. We can practice all the time. So think about that in terms of your when you get out of your car, you go to the grocery store, or, a lot of times nowadays, since we're not having a lot of other activities, I notice more people are taking walks. So, use your Tai Chi principles when you're walking, and that'll help you. All right. Thank you very much. If you don't know about it, I've got a bunch of other live streams. I've got a daily live stream from noon till 12:30 every day, Monday through Friday. And it's a half-hour Qigong. I do different stuff every day. I introduce a lot of the stuff that we've done in classes here, the Wuxing Long Pai classes, like the Swimming Dragon Body, Dao Yin, and Iron Dragon Qigong. But I've also introduced some things that, that are more strictly Qigong sets that we've never really had time to cover in class because we're also trying to do our warm-up and do our Tai Chi, all that. And so every once in a while, there's some new stuff in there, a lot of internal elements. I've also got a Wednesday afternoon tea and chi class, or it's not really a class. It's more just a break, a meditative break. And we do some internal neigong or neidan, which is working with the chi just in a seated meditative posture, enjoying some tea. I talk about the tea that I have. I tell people, hey, and in fact, it's for a nonprofit called HMEA. Which helps developmentally disabled children and adults live their dreams. And I'm all about that. And so what they've done is if you come in and you tell us what tea you're drinking, because they're doing a fundraiser called their Incredible 5K, one of the things they're doing is raffles, and they give free raffle tickets to people who come to the afternoon tea and chi and just, interact and tell us, hey, this is the tea I'm drinking. I love it. This is why I like it, whatever. Or just, this is the tea I'm drinking. And they'll do that. And, it's all for charity. So if you can, help them out. And I tell people, especially now, I understand a lot of people don't. They're concerned about the future. What helps them out, spread it around. Share the afternoon tea and chi link on Facebook, and people will find out about it. And that will help them spread what they're doing. And it's one of the easiest and best ways to really help when we personally ourselves can't, for whatever reasons, help a charity materially. We can help it in other ways. And that's what I try to share with people. The more you do that, the more people see it, the more likely it is to bring in more income for them. And very last, if you'd like to help me continue to do my work, you can go to my coffee page. That's ko-fi.com/Occidental Dallas. You can make a donation to me. Everything I do here, all my online stuff is totally by donation, with the exception of one thing. I've got a Patreon page where you can get a membership and get exclusive content, instructional videos. But if you're taking my classes on a regular basis, most of those you've seen, most of the stuff that I teach there you've seen, except a few advanced pieces that I've put out. For a couple of people, because I've got a couple of people there that have been with me for a long time and practice many hours a day, and I've got to keep up instruction for them. So, and if you feel like you're held back a little bit because we're not covering deeper, more material, you can always join the Patreon page and do some of that as well. Or talk to me. And when we get back to class, send me a note. Tell me something you'd like to work on. And, if I feel like that's something that everybody can benefit from, or it's appropriate to put in this format, I will absolutely do it. If not, maybe I'll send you a link to something, All right. Anyways, thank you very much. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Many blessings of radiant health and a peaceful, happy heart.